This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome. Hello all to DBL. It's Tuesday, March 24th. Welcome again to what we call human connection in a world that, yes, feels very different from a month ago. Al and I are here. You look like you own a yacht.
I look like a retired football player that bought one.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
And it's like Titanic 2 or something. I like it.
Very catchy name.
That's right. Please know our other fellow co-hosts are safe. They are at home. And Sam Shocker, our fearless leader, is home with her brand new baby boy, Maya.
Yes, little man. Welcome to the world.
Welcome to the world. We here at DBL, of course, want to provide you some helpful information, some good laughs, and a safe space to interact with us and each other. Because trust me, you are helping us out too. I'm not going to lie. As I said before, we want to be your comfort food, your mac and cheese.
Wait, but am I mac or am I cheese?
You're mac.
Okay.
I'm cheese. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm cheese. Let's just keep it with that. We're both lactose intolerant, but I'll be cheese. And Jeff is our bacon crumble. Send us, please, your stories and comments. I got a ton last night. I'm going to be shouting out some of you guys on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. Remember, together, we got this.
Let's do it.
We really do. All right, let's start with some headlines. The coronavirus is continuing to impact world events like the Olympics, which we've been talking about, right, Al? They have now been officially postponed. The 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo will now take place next summer. Meantime, airlines in America are reportedly drawing up plans for a full shutdown of domestic passenger flights. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. Could the elections also be postponed? At least one senator is calling for more votes by mail options to ensure the elections move forward in November. But all these major changes, including shutting down so much of America, is it worth it? That's what a lot of people are asking today, including the president, who yesterday was asking the question, is the cure worse than the disease? So one person who seems to have an answer to that question is Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. So get to know this guy's name. Check out what he said on Fox News last night. Let's take a look.
My message is that let's get back to work. Let's get back to living. Let's be smart about it. And those of us who are 70 plus, we'll take care of ourselves, but don't sacrifice the country.
Speak for yourself.
Literally. I think ESPN has a show called Speak for Yourself. He should have said that on that with Stephen A. Smith.
Right.
That is, I'm glad he talked to everybody and this kind of like self-sacrifice. Get back to work. That is the exact opposite of what we're literally.
Every other country is doing.
That is almost a criminal thing to say on television. That is a physically dangerous thing to do. And it's really easy to say get back to work when you don't have to work in a hospital.
I think
that's why I'm so worried about the lip service we pay to the people on the front lines, our nurses, our doctors, our PAs, everybody that's working on the front lines. But then we say, we love you guys, keep it up. They don't have masks, they don't have ventilators, they don't have gloves.
Keep it up.
But we're going to get people back to work so we can continue to heighten the curve and put them in more danger. So.
Yes, I think I speak for everyone here, and a lot of you wrote me in, and that's awesome. At least from Al and I, the economy will never be more important than a single human being's life. That has to be more important. That is precious. And here at DBL, we believe that. So he also said that grandparents would be willing to sacrifice themselves for the economy. And I just don't know if every grandparent, my grandma would be like, says who?
Exactly.
May she rest Evelyn. All right. One of the things happening in this strange new world is stockpiling. So the federal government is stepping in to stop those people. You've seen them. They're hoarding the face masks, the gloves, the other personal protective equipment, or as they say, PPE. Attorney General William Barr announced the Justice Department is investigating anyone stockpiling vital supplies. That's great. Saying that by doing so, they are, quote, harming the health of America in this hour of need. Now, there might just be a new term for people like this. This is according to Urban Dictionary. They're called COVIDiots. So what exactly is a COVIDiot? It's defined as, quote, someone who ignored the warnings regarding public health or safety, or a person who hoards goods, denying them from their neighbors.
Well, I think there are two definitions we can go with. One is selfish. I don't think we need a new definition. They're being selfish. But I will also say this in defense of the selfish people. They're scared. And the reason that people went out and bought toilet paper, the reason that people went out and hoarded masks is because we were not getting directions from the top down on what to do.
Strategy.
And so when people don't know what to do, they look and they go, that woman in that dress is buying toilet paper. I'm getting toilet paper. Why? I don't know, but they're getting it, so I'm going to get it. If people were buying bug spray, they'd be like, I think there's a cure in there, and there would be a run on bug spray. When you don't inform the public, they're going to start to come to their own conclusions.
Okay, I will disagree with you a little bit. I think a lot of it, or some of it, is greed. And I think a lot of people were trying to make a profit. And I know someone at that famous video that went viral of that woman taking every paper towel box from Home Depot, and she was on camera, and she's like,
I think she was at Dollar Store.
Oh, was it Dollar Store?
I believe so.
That to me is greed, and that is disgusting, and I really hope they do look into that, because that's not fair.
Well, we live in a capitalistic society.
Exactly.
We're shown, like the guy that had that cure that's now in jail, and he was charging, what was it for? The EpiPen?
Oh, Martin Skrellis. Yeah,
yes.
He increased it like 500%.
Yes. So
the price of an
it's
EpiPen.
greed.
Oh yeah, I think that's part of it.
Lots of bad words.
Yeah.
Greed,
Covidian
selfishness.
Greed.
Yes.
It's like the 7 deadly sins. With nearly half the country under new stay-at-home orders, streets from coast to coast are eerily empty. But with all the new rules regarding what you can and cannot do, a lot of people are saying, okay, so what is essential? Which is a totally okay question, because that happened here in Denver when they announced the stay-at-home order yesterday. So people flocked to the liquor stores, okay? Check out these lines that formed for people trying to buy alcohol before stores closed. It was so bad, in fact, that
I know
the mayor,
exactly where that is.
I
First of all, when you're walking through a drive-through liquor store,
I know where that
it
is.
should just be your family and an intervention waiting for you at the end, like, wow, Mom, wow. You're not even driving through. First of all, having a drive-through liquor store is questionable enough. When you're walking through a McDonald's, you should be, every step you take should be like
shame.
just an analysis.
Shame.
Talk about the walk of shame. We shame women for having one-night stands. That's the real walk of shame.
Walk through a drive-through with alcohol, there's an issue. Well, it got so bad here in Denver that our Mayor Hancock changed his mind. And now both liquor stores as well as marijuana dispensaries, which is legal here in Denver, like this one, will remain open for the time being, as long as the stores follow the extreme social distancing guidelines. It was crazy yesterday. Again, we're here in Denver, and everyone was like, are you going? Do you have wine? Do you have this? Do you have that? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he made those essential, certainly for people who have cancer or other diseases. Marijuana could be a life-saving cure for pain, pain-free day.
It also helps you get through the first 5 police academies. Okay, obviously we're shouting out our cancer survivors, but like, let's be honest. I think keeping people at home, whether they're drunk or high, keeps them satiated and keeps people from breaking windows and looting. So whatever works, I'm with it.
That's a good point. And by the way, Steve Guttenberg, if you're out there and watching.
Oh yeah, that's your celeb crush.
All right, there's a lot of depressing news right now. So what are you doing to spread some cheer other than crushing on the Goots? Check out what one woman in New Mexico is doing. 68-year-old Gloria Hill and her 74-year-old husband, they're the stars of their very own parade. They drive around and wave to their neighbors, who are all keeping a safe distance. That's so cute.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of parades
Yeah,
anyway.
Like parades.
Even when I was a little kid on my dad's shoulders, I'm like, what are we doing here? It's like, I don't know. I don't get parades. Are you a parade person?
No, I don't understand but Mitch Hedberg, our famous late comedian, says if you walk backwards of a comedian, it's just people walking really quickly.
I don't know what that meant.
Yeah, I think I got it wrong.
That was a very weird thing.
Dang it.
But I do appreciate you trying to spread some cheer.
Yeah.
And like, we got to do something. We have to do something to kind of keep the human spirit going. So whatever works, I'm with it.
I agree. And a lot
Bring that to my street.
I agree. And you don't want that to be your street.
I looked out my window.
That's nice of you. We do want to make a correction. The Martin Skrelly thing was for an AIDS drug, not for EpiPen. So we want to make sure we got that in. Coming up, a professional, Dr. Coley. She is answering your coronavirus questions, and we're focusing on you guys, the viewer. Okay? Dr. Coley is back with important information to help keep you and your loved ones safe. And later, we talked to a couple who went on a camping trip of a lifetime, only to come home to the pandemic. We'll be right back. Welcome back to DBL. In case you were wondering also about the mugs, because some of you wrote in, we're not having mugs because we don't want people to have to clean them. So we're just using paper cups and we're recycling them, but we want to do that to help stop the virus spread. So I want to make that clear. All right, we are all about facts, again, not fear, and providing some good information to keep you and your loved ones safe. So Dr. Coley, the heart of my hearts, the stars to my moon. That made no sense. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Joins us live to answer your questions about the coronavirus. Doctor, we have been talking a lot about the latest headlines, but today I'm saying, nah, we're going back to basics. This is for the new viewers tuning into DBL for the very first time. We believe everyone should know this simple but potentially life-saving information. So let's start with something we all know about: social distancing. Doctor, can you explain why we need to be 6 feet apart as opposed to 10 feet or 3 feet?
Yeah, so great question to ask, especially today, because we're hearing that social distancing from our government may come to an end soon, which is absolutely not correct. So the virus is not spread by any other means besides respiratory droplets. So the virus doesn't spread itself. People spread the virus. People coming together spread the virus. And respiratory droplets tend to travel about 6 feet or so. So that's why it's really important for us to maintain that distance. And 6 feet is the minimum distance that we should maintain. But really, you want to be as far away from each other as possible. And the idea is that if we did nothing, within about a week or two, our country's healthcare system would be completely overwhelmed by the number of people that catch this virus because of the way that it spreads.
Thank you.
So
That's
if you
good
separate
information.
the people, you stop the spread.
Thank you.
All right. Now, Doc, we've been told wash your hands and use hand sanitizer. I can talk like that on a boat.
Okay, you have a turtleneck on in case you can't. It's Ron Burgundy over here.
You know, we've been told to wash our hands and use sanitizer, but like when, how often, like when should we be doing this? Like how much is too much and how much is not enough?
And which one is better? I want to know.
So there's never too much hand washing, but there's specific circumstances such as before you prepare food or before you touch your face, it's critical to wash your hands. You also want to wash your hands after you go to the bathroom or after you handle any kind of packages, groceries, or anything that may be contaminated by the virus. So what I usually do to myself is whenever I'm doing something, I stop and ask myself, do I need to wash my hands? Whenever I'm about to touch my face or eat something, I say, do I need to wash my hands? So those are the two critical times I really ask myself. And then the sanitizer should only be used when you don't have access to washing your hands, because it's just not as good as the soap and water.
All right, well, we know to stay home, but what are some reasons we should leave the house, right? So can I take Josie Rose and Barnaby on dog walks? Can people foster if they're home and take their dogs for walks, which might be helpful for the dogs and the cats?
Yeah, at this point, Tori, only the essential reasons to leave the house. So I would say taking your dogs out for a walk, getting a little bit of exercise, those are considered essential reasons. Other reasons would be going to the supermarket or going to the pharmacy.
Okay.
But besides that, for recreation, for interacting with your neighbors, it is not the time to leave your house. Stay home, stay socially distanced, and that's going to save lives.
Thank you.
Dr. Coley, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for not hanging up after Tori suggested that you take your cat for a walk. But now we do have some viewer questions here. Viewer Chris says, he wrote us and said, I work from home and I pretty much self-quarantine anyway. My friend who also lives alone has been off as a tattoo artist for 3 weeks already. Is it cool for us to get together?
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good question.
No, no, and no, because you two getting together, even though you've been quarantining at home, increases the risk to both of you and to your community. So the fact that you've been at home is great, and I really applaud you for that. And I want everybody to keep up with the social distancing, because I know it's starting to get to some of us. But remember, what we do today doesn't show up for about 1 or 2 weeks. So what we're seeing with the rise in cases is actually from our behavior 2 weeks ago, before we had started adopting this aggressive social distancing. So really stay home today in order to flatten that curve tomorrow.
Right, that's good. Jonna New asks, will the coronavirus ever go away? People don't wash their hands. That's a good point.
Yeah, so we're hopeful that we can at least mitigate it. It may not forever go away, but look at China, look at South Korea, you know, really keep that hope up, because we're really on the steep part of our curve right now. But within a few weeks, those countries were able to turn around their cases, and I'm hopeful that we'll do the same. So I really think our life will come back to normal in a few weeks, but we just all have to pitch in today in order for that to happen.
That makes sense.
All right, let's get this really quickly. Addison wants to know about donations. She says, as a hairstylist, would my gloves be something I should donate, or is there a certain medical grade glove?
No, gloves are actually, most types can be used. There's certainly latex gloves that are preferred, or non-latex medical grade gloves that are preferred, but all types of gloves in a pinch could be helpful. So please donate, and thank you for doing so.
That's amazing. Finally, doctor, before we go, there's new data out there about how coronavirus impacts our heart. My mom has a port right to her heart. Can you speak to that really quickly?
Yeah, and I'm a cardiologist, so it's close to my heart, but there are receptors for the virus on the heart. So some people will actually present with heart attacks, heart damage, or chest pain and palpitations as the only manifestation of the disease. So just keep that in the back of your mind.
Wow, that's so important. Your information every day is saving lives. I want you to know that. Thank you for being here. You're our warrior. If you do want more information about the coronavirus, go to cdc.gov or the World Health Organization's website. And remember, what do we say? No panic. I do this weird shrug when I say that. No panic. Just prevention and precautions. And again, Dr. Coley, all the health workers, the truck drivers, the sanitation people out there, we thank you.
Tori, you just hit me. I'll never be able to start a sentence with, I'm a cardiologist.
I know.
Especially at the pace I'm going. It's not looking good, Doc.
No, but your turtleneck makes you pretend you are. We'll be right back.
Bye, Doc.
Bye, Doc.
The sun used to make our outdoor patios
All right, imagine going on the rafting trip of a lifetime, spending almost a month in the Grand Canyon, no contact with the outside world, only to come home and find out we're in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. Well, for Kate Condino and Mason Thomas, that was their reality. Jeff talked with them earlier in today's DBL Spotlight.
Kate Condino and Mason Thomas, thank you so much for being here today, and welcome back to quote-unquote real life, or what we know of it today, right?
Yeah, thank you for having us.
So were you guys following the coronavirus headlines before your trip?
Yeah, I was definitely. My mom is immunocompromised. She's got some lung issues, so we tend to pay attention to a lot of this stuff when it rolls around.
So my next question's a tough one. Why didn't you guys let me in on the onesie situation? What's going on with that?
You know, if your people got attacked with our people, then, we could have had some communication.
So guys, I really got to ask you this. Was the coronavirus a topic of conversation while you were on your trip with the other rafters?
No, not really at all. Like, that trip really has a way of kind of getting you away from the outside world. As is, we didn't know how much the pandemic had progressed since we've been gone, so we had no idea that it was going to be such a big deal when we returned.
So how did you guys eventually find out? And did you take it serious when you first heard about that it became a pandemic?
It was split about half and half who took it seriously. So we took out on the 14th, and basically we rented from a company who sent a guy who drove the gear truck down. He stepped out of the truck and asked us, how's it going? It's fine. It's been great. And the next question was, has anyone talked to you about the outside world? And we all shook our heads, and he just kind of sighs and rolls his eyes and says, okay, well, you've got a lot to learn.
What was your first thought in discovering the news? What was that first thing that went through your mind?
For me, it was my mom. My mom and my brother, both of them having, health issues and stuff like that. And my immediate thought was definitely to my mom.
How about the toilet paper shortage? Are you guys okay with the TP situation in your current living establishment?
We just ran out yesterday.
We just ran out yesterday. We're gonna have to fix that today. Yeah. We're gonna make some phone calls after this.
All right, well, good luck with that, because I don't know if you know, it's a hot commodity nowadays. So here's the $1 million question, guys. Is ignorance bliss?
Yes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I would say in this case, absolutely, hands down, ignorance is bliss. I'd love to be back there.
All right, Kate and Mason, thank you so much for joining us today here on Daily Blast Live.
Have a good one yourself.
And tomorrow, Al and I will also be in onesies. We'll be right back. Welcome back to DBL. Most of us are spending a lot more time at home right now in quarantine, so much so that some couples are opting for a sleep divorce. We're chatting about it.
One word short.
In today's Rise and Thrive, sponsored by SoClean. Yes, sleep divorce is a thing. Couples who are perfectly happy, they just want some space to get a better night's rest. Or maybe their partner snores, steals the covers, or likes the room at a certain temperature. Either way, sleeping in different rooms is slowly becoming the new normal. According to the National Bed Federation, Al,
that sounds like something a frat would have.
Yeah, you look like you're
weird.
in charge of the National Bed Federation today. 1 in 6 couples who live together now sleep apart. For more ways to rest easy, go to SoClean.com or call 1-800-562-3891. Is a sleep divorce weird or a good idea?
It's a great idea, Tori. It's a great idea.
Talk to me.
You got to get over yourself and get out of your feelings. Hey, my partner, I watch TV and they went to bed every night. If that works for you guys, great. But we both know, especially if you get past the age of 28,
which I am.
Your sleep is 29. Your sleep is so important to the next day, to how you function, how you process things, especially if you have a job that's high intensity. So if you sleep better alone and have breakfast in the morning. It'll be fine.
Okay, but make sure you give hugs and kisses before you separate.
Yes.
It's very important, hugs and kisses.
I'm not saying argue.
We're always on Facebook and YouTube. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Our mac and cheese says goodbye.